Yo, yo, what's going on, guys? So today in this video, we will be reviewing every character in the World is Destroyed Undertale. So, um, this is gonna be a long video, and it's also gonna be about a game that I don't usually make a video on. So if you're uninterested, I recommend you click off now. Anyways, without further ado, let's start. So, first starting off with Phantom Swap. He, is really fast. He's probably the best character for collecting souls in this game. But, he has a lot of HP, so he can't be killed. Only the thing is, he sucks with combat, because, you know, he does no damage. And he has one attack, which you just saw. So, overall, that character's a big F. Big L. It's not good at all. Next, we got Sans Undertale, except it's the pacifist one, and it's like the lazy one too. So his first attack is that we'll be showing is a catch-up, which heals him for 3 dodges, and he starts out with 5 dodges. So he has lazy bone throw, which does like 3 damage, not all that great. He has bone jump, does like around 13 damage, I'd say. Blue bone, which the dummies are standing still, so it's ineffective. Alright, I'd say that did around like 10 damage maybe. So, that's Pacifist Sans. He's not all that great. He's a mediocre character. He's the first character that you unlock that can fight, I guess, so that's a bonus. Next, at 50 souls up, we have Story Shift Chara Pacifist. So, the first attack, blue knife, doesn't do anything against the dummies. Now the knife throw. Instantly better. It does like around 20 damage. We got the jump, which does 40 damage. Really good. And if you use the knife like against the person, like right, if you spawn right inside of them, it does like around 40, 50 damage maybe. So overall, a pretty good character, I'd say. Oh, 50 damage. Alright, so that's probably your first character that if you're fighting like an HP character, you might be able to maybe get some kills with. Alright, Papyrus, the first character you can actually get kills with. AKA the J, V2. Anyway, so this character has no dodges, but they have 2000 HP, which has the same stats as a character we'll be covering later on. So, their first ability is a bone throw, which, it does, like, around 20 damage. It's not all that great. It's just your classical, good old bone throw. So then we have the bone zone, which, it's a generic bone zone in this game, which does around, like, I think it was, like, 10 damage. Alright, then we got jump bone, which does 40 damage, pretty good. We have that, which that did like maybe 50 damage. That's pretty good. And then the rest of his attacks are blue attacks, so they don't work against the dummies. Alright, on to the next character. Overall, that character is pretty good for the beginning. Anyways, the first character that you can actually maybe get some kills with a lot easier than the other ones. So, first of all, blue attack. You're gonna see like a blue icon appear on who you use it on. Basically, it makes it so they can't jump anymore. Next. Alright, so now we're going on to the jump, which does 20 damage on the dot. Sick. He has a throw, which is 3 bones, which do around 12 damage each, which is pretty good. He's got a bone cage, which does... Oh, damn, that's like a pretty good amount of damage. I don't know how much that was, though. I forgot the other HP that he was at. So, I guess you guys are just going to have to do the math. But anyways. So, next he has a giant blue zone. And then he has a bone zone that's generic, which did around 12 damage. Sick. And then he has a lot of bone jumps. This one goes on for a while. I'm gonna just spawn in an extra one. As you can see, this one just goes on for a while. So that one did around, I'm gonna have to decrease like 20 HP because, you know, I used this middle one, so. Does around like 120 damage if you hit all of them, which is pretty good. It does 20 damage per bone, so. That's pretty good. Alright, next. Fell Swap. The other character, except a lot more edgy. So. He has the jump bone, which does like around 40 damage, 30 damage, somewhere around there. He has this, which does... Okay, that does like around 24 damage maybe. So then he has Spam Bone, which does like... Hold on, let me check how much it was per. I don't know, I guess you guys have to do the math. He has an Orange Bone that did like around 12 damage. A Big Bone, which I missed. Hold on. Oh damn, that did like around 90 damage. That's pretty good. And it's like 6 damage per bone throw. He's alright. I don't know if he's better than Swap though. I think he's like on par with Swap. Anyways, on to the next. Swap Fell Sans. Hold on. Oh crap, I had audio playing in the background. Shoot, my bad. I was watching a stream that I forgot was on. Anyways, so he has his Scythe attack, which does... I missed. Very cool. Alright, so he has a Bone Zone, which does... Alright, around 30 damage. He has a huge Bone Wave, which does... Oh damn, that's like around 100 HP right there. He has a Bone Throw, which... Damn, that does 200 HP. Alright. So he has a Bone Jump, which does 40 damage. Orange Bone, 20 damage. And let's try to check out the Scythe attack again. Actually, I'm going to try it on this guy because he has a lot more HP, so... I don't know if how long the cooldown is on this thing. It might take like a while. Okay, there we go. So it does around 100 damage. So he's a pretty good character, I'd say. He's really good for draining HP because you saw how much damage that dude did. That's a lot of damage. Alright, Science Sans. AKA Sans from the past. Debatable. Depends on if you follow Undertale lore and stuff. Alright, so first of all, I'd like to comment how his glasses actually changed the color of his eyes, which is pretty cool. Alright, anyways, so he has a speed potion, which makes him quicker than Phantom Swap for a little bit, so if you want to collect some souls, that's nice. He has a shield, which makes him immune to any and all damage, and dodge takeaways temporarily. He has a laser, which does 20 damage per hit. He has a Bone Throw, which does 2 damage. That kinda sucks. He has a Bone Jump that does 12 damage. And he has Science Sans Bones, which do like 2 damage per every second you're in them. So, yeah, this character is actually kinda bad. It's not a really good character. It's good for like defensive, I guess, because it can go fast and it has a shield, but otherwise, it's not all that great. Alright, so Fell Swap Emerald. So, first of all, I actually did not know what the sands looked like until I played this game, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Because I know what Fell Swap Emerald, you know, Papyrus is, but, you know. Alright, well, time to test out his attacks. So, starting off, we have the Bone Throw, which does... Oh my god! Alright, that does like 750 damage. That's a lot of damage. Alright. That second attack, I don't know what it is. Bones does 150 damage. Orange Bones... 20 damage per and it summons 2 of them, so 40 damage. That one's not all that great. He has a generic Bone Zone, which did 30 damage. Big Wave, which did 40 damage. And I'm gonna make this guy reset real quick because I get a feeling that this next attack is gonna do quite the damage. It's a blaster. Blasters are usually broken in games. Alright, so it does 450 damage. So that character's pretty good. His bone throw especially is broken. Especially with how it like goes in multiple directions simultaneously. So anyways, we're up to Polter Swap. Or Polar Swap. I don't know. I didn't read it correctly. Oh, yeah, it's Polter Swap. Alright. So Sans Whip. This is it's a melee attack. I probably should have expected that. Alright, so we got Jump Bone, which is super big, but it does 30 damage. We have his Backbones, which do like 10 damage, not all that great. We have his Bone Throw, which does 9 damage. His Bone Zone, which does 20 damage. His Cage, which does nothing. It's worse than Swap Sans' Cage. Alright. And he has Blue Bones, obviously, which do nothing against dummies. And let's try out the whip again. Okay, once it's on off cooldown, because, you know, these things take time, obviously. Nothing's ever easy. Why would it be easy? Nothing can ever be easy. Alright, it does 20 damage. So this character is kind of trash. It's not all that great. The previous one was better. Alright, here we are. It's a very weak dust. Alright, so his first attack. By the way, if you find Evil Dust in Lad's game, you are probably getting mass amounts of PTSD right now from this theme. Anyways, Fireballs. Damn, that's like 80 damage per. That's broken. Alright, next, Weak Dust Spin Bone. Alright, that's like around 20 damage per hit. Bone Throw is like 4 damage per, but it summons quite a lot of them. There's the Jump, which does 40 damage. I'm gonna just finish him off with Fireballs real quick, because, you know, he needs to gain his HP back. Alright, then we have this, which is more Fireballs, which do 50 damage per, around there. 50, 40, yeah, somewhere. It's between 50 and 40. So he's got his Knife, which I'm assuming is a melee. Okay, and that did like 50 damage. We have a Shortcut, which is a teleport. And then we have the Blaster, which I'm assuming is going to do a lot of damage. So I'm going to use it on this guy over here. Alright, 9477. I missed it. I love it when that happens. I'm going to just finish off this guy then. Or at least hopefully. I don't know. I don't know if he's got the firepower to finish off all that HP. Alright, there we go. Alright, so 1000 HP. Reduced to. Alright, so that did like 250 damage. That's around there. That's pretty good. This character is pretty good, but his blaster is not the best. Alright, the most recent character added. TS Underswap Sans. Alright. The savior of Sun It Down. Let's see. I already know how much the ketchup gun does. It's a pretty short cooldown and 20 damage per like hit, but I'm gonna just showcase it anyways. Alright. So it shoots like a little ketchup blast and it does like 20 to 30 damage per. And then there's the Bone Zone, which this is a tall bone, which I'm pretty sure does absolutely no damage. It's just like for elevation. Yeah. Alright. So then we got the Jump, which did 10 damage. We got his Bone Zone, which did 6 damage. His Bone Row, which did around 30 damage. A lot of blue bones and a shortcut. So, I initially thought this character was good. Apparently I was wrong. He is not a good character. Anyways, we're through with all the soul characters. Now onto the badge characters. So, starting off with Undertale No More Secrets. First of all, this guy has 2 phases. That's his shortcut, by the way. He is a badge character you get for beating chapter 1 of this game, because this kind of has like, you know how this game has like chapter 1, chapter 2? Yeah, it's kind of like that, except chapter 1's only out right now. So, his first attack is Bone Throw, which does like 6 damage per, I think. It's around 8 damage per. His next is his Bone Jump. That does like 20 damage per, 10 damage. Alright, Bone Zone. Alright, 636, so that's like 10 damage, I think. He's got his Blue Bone, which, you know, that's obviously not going to do anything. And then we got his Blaster, which does a pretty good amount of damage, around 250, like all the other blasters. Very epic. Alright, time for phase 2, which I'm pretty sure you enter when you're around 10 dodges. Some characters go into phase 2 when they're at 0 HP, some of them go into it like halfway. Alright, so this one he gets a bad time eye, and his beam speeds up. His shortcut goes a little bit further. Alright, time to test out the blaster. So this guy's got 500 HP left. Let's see how well it does. Okay, now it does 100 damage. It's even worse in phase 2. The Bone Throw does 2 damage. That's also worse. Does 10 damage. Spinning Bone, 6 damage per hit. And does like 6 damage. Okay, so overall this character isn't all that great. I mean, he's a badge character, but he's a pretty low souls badge character, so. Alright, Mirrored Tail. This one is the second boss from chapter 2. I mean, chapter 1, my bad, chapter 2 isn't out in this game yet. So, his first attack is Bone Throw, or Icicle Throw, which, hold, let me back up, because I spawned that in here, which does a little bit more damage. Alright, so it does 40 damage. His Ice Wave does, it missed. Okay, we can try that out later. His Ice Zone does 10 damage. His Jump does, like, around 30 damage. His Snowfall, I missed that as well, so we have 2 attacks, we need to test that again. So that does 10 damage. And this does nothing. Sick. This guy doesn't have a second phase, by the way. Alright. Well, that's sick. So, now we're up to Undertale Catastrophe. I'm going in by soul order. No, actually, I'll just go in by section order. So we did XP characters, now we're doing chapter 1 characters. So, this is Sans, except something went wrong. Basically a knockoff Geno Sans. So, shortcut goes pretty far. So he's got his throw, which does... I missed it. But, oh damn, okay. So it comes back and forth like 2 times. So, let's see. Does around 80 damage per hit. And it goes back and forth twice, so that's pretty good. And you can spam this a little bit. So this is actually pretty broken if you get like a bunch of them all gathered up. Alright, so next we have his jump, which does 50 damage. Alright. He has his Bone Zone, which does around another 50 damage. We have his Purple Bones, which do like, damn, 200 damage per hit. Okay. And then we have his Bone Wave, which that does undefined amount because he died. Alright, his Falling String Bones, which do around 30 damage. Nope, they did 100. 200 actually. Oh, okay, 40 damage for every second you're touching them. Alright. So, Big Bone Wave did... Okay, that does a lot of damage. That's like around 300, I think. Alright, and to finish it off, Blaster. Damn! Okay, that does a lot more damage than the other blasters. I'm gonna have to test it out over here again, because, you know, he kind of died from the previous one. Alright, 800 damage for Blaster. So his phase 1 is pretty broken, and to top it off, he has a second phase, which, you know, I said Papyrus had the same stats as another guy. Yeah, his HP stats and dodges are like Papyrus. He has 0 dodges in his second phase, but he has 2,000 HP. So let's do that. But his obviously his attacks are a lot more broken than Papyrus's. It's just that these attacks are meant for people to be moving around, so a lot of them are gonna be pretty garbage. Alright, this is his second phase, which is like a knockoff Ultra Sans kind of. Alright, so his first attack, I have no clue what this is, honestly, because it doesn't tell you in the name anymore. It just says Undertale, but something went wrong, phase 2. Oh, it's his bone throw, which is like a triple bone throw, and it comes back and forth. Which, I think it did like around 100 damage per hit. Hold on, let me check. It does 200 damage per hit. Alright. And now we got this, which is his bone wave, which did around like 200 damage. He has a... Okay, this is the glitch bone wall, which does a decent amount of damage. It's like around 30 damage per every second you're touching it. The blaster, which that does like a lot, and it's super spammable too. So let's see how much it does. Alright, 800 damage, but it is spammable, as you can see here. Alright, next. He has a... Oh, he has a hand attack, which like summons hands, I guess. Which those hands do around... Hold on, first let me test this thing out. Okay, this is like another one of those weird glitchy things. Okay, it's around like 15 damage per hit, but you can take a lot of hits from it, so it's pretty good. Alright, so, oh, this is the blaster, crap. Alright, so. Alright, the hands do around 120 damage, and he has a dash. So, that's all for Undertale, well, that's enough for Undertale, but something went wrong. Next, we'll be doing Catastrophe, which he has 2 phases as well. So his first attack is Bone Jump, does 40 damage. He has his Bone Zone, which does around 20 damage. He has a Bone Throw, which does 12 damage. He has a Big Wave, which does around 40 damage, I'd say. And then he has a Blaster to finish off phase 1, which does around like 400 damage. That's pretty good. And he has 20 dodges, and well, I'm not really going to include the HP because he doesn't actually have HP. He just goes into phase 2 when he loses his dodges. So he has 20 dodges in his phase 1. Phase 2 he has 0 dodges and 900 HP if I'm remembering correctly. Alright, yep. 0 dodges, 900 HP. Alright, so his first attack, Bone Zone, does around 40 damage. His Bone Throw does around 12 damage. His Spin Bone does like 20 damage per tap. And then his Bone Jump does like quite a bit, I guess. I don't know how to describe that. Colored Bones is 30 damage per hit. And he summons quite a few of them. And then he has Blaster, which I'm assuming is the same as phase 1. Yep, does around 500 damage, and he has Double Blaster, which is, I'm assuming is just going to be double the damage. And that's all for Undertale Catastrophe. Time for the final character. The one that only like, I think like maybe 100 people got in this game, maybe less, because it was out from 3 in the morning till 10 in the morning. So basically, if you had to go to school, you were screwed today. So, Real Sans. It's a 3D Sans, and I'm also gonna have to mute the music because it is copyrighted. Once you get to a certain part, it's like the Havana or something like that. It's that song eventually. So, uh, basically he has 5 dodges, 3 HP. He doesn't have a second phase. This character kind of sucks. He's a meme character. Um, so he has the Real Sans throw and the Real Sans blaster. He has 2 attacks. The Real Sans throw does like 20 damage, and it has an incredibly long cooldown. You have to wait for a little bit, and boom, there's another one. And then he has his blaster, which is the only redeeming thing about this guy. Which it does like around 400 damage, which is better than your average blaster. And that is every character. In Undertale, the world is destroyed. If you want to try out this game for yourself, it is the link in the description. Go give it a try. Sadly, the Catastrophe event ended, and the Real Sans event also ended, so you can't get those 2 characters anymore. But, happy April Fools. And, one more thing before I go. I'm deleting the channel. Haha, April Fool's prank. Insert generic April Fool's prank here.